going to be an author and write a book, you need to be able to really plan your book through. So you've thought of a character now, haven't you? You've designed one. Now I wonder if you could design a story that your character could be a part of. Now, stories have a structure. There's usually something that happens at the beginning and we find out who the character is, and it kind of sets a scene for a problem to occur, and then there's a middle part of the story where they have to work through the problem to solve it, and then there's the end where they find the resolution, how they've solved the problem. So if you ever think of the stories we've read today, let's have a look at Lost and Found. At the beginning of the story, we had the character of the boy, and there was a problem, wasn't there? That there was a penguin, and it came, and the boy thought he was lost and needed to get home. So at the beginning of the story, we found out about the characters and that the penguin was lost. Then in the middle, can you remember what happens in the middle? Yeah, the boy does all he can to help the penguin to get home. And then at the end of the story, he realises that the penguin was actually lonely, and they become friends, and that they're going to live together. So there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. If we think about the tiny seed, at the beginning, there's lots of seeds, but there's this tiny one, isn't there? And it kind of starts off a problem where we think when the seeds get blown away, that the tiny seed isn't going to survive. And then throughout the middle of the story, all these different things happen to the other seeds, and this one thankfully keeps going and going and eventually grows. And then at the end of the story, the tiny seed has been the seed that survived everything, grown to be a big sunflower, and then starts the process off again. So we've got a seed, has to travel through all those different things, then has an ending. If you think of a fairy tale, thinking of that, you often have a once upon a time, and you find out something that happens at the beginning, and then lots of things happen in the middle, and then usually at the end, the characters live happily ever after. In this book, at the beginning, we found out who the characters were, and that there was a problem, really, that the monster here, he didn't want to give up his Nunu, did he? And then the middle part of the story was how he tried to make sure he protected the Nunus, that he looked after them, that he didn't lose any, so he always had one. And then it ended with him making the decision that he didn't need them after all. Although he did grow that tree, didn't he? So that one has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So your challenge for the last part of today, before you listen to Miss Downham's story, is to see if you can think of the, the character you've created. What would happen to your character if you had your own story? So what I want you to do is to have a think. Look, I've got 3 pieces of paper here. You might just want to divide a piece of paper into 3. It's up to you. I want you to think, what could happen to your character in a story that you made up yourself? So where would your character be at the beginning? What kind of problem would your character have? Do they need to find something? Have they lost something that's important to them? Are they scared of something? Do they have to go and visit someone? Have a think. And then in the middle, what's going to happen to them to solve this problem? And at the end, what is the solution? What actually happens to them? Do they have a happy ending, or is it a sad ending? So do you think you could draw 3 pictures, a beginning, a middle, and an end, for your character, so that if you were an author, you could say, this is my own story? Good luck. It's quite a tricky challenge, that one, but remember, you're the author, so you could use your imagination as much as you want to, because anything can happen. The best thing to do, though, is to come up with your own idea instead of maybe copying another person's book. Okay? Good luck. I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Once you've done that, enjoy the last story of the day with Miss Downham. Hope you've enjoyed World Book Day, and I hope you've learnt a bit more about books. Bye, Puffins.